Hey YouTube, we came to Fin Feather to pick up some ammo and we got the bright idea. Why don't we bring you with us to look at all the popular rounds that are in there? We're looking for 9mm rounds today, and later on we're going to do an accuracy test to see which one groups the best. Come on in.
Just your lasers in both 115 and 124s, Federals, Winchester, white box, Maxtech. I kind of wish they had more.
Agreed. Hey YouTube, so you saw us on our shopping spree a bit earlier. Selection was so-so.
Surprisingly low.
Yeah.
You know, what we did was kind of thought to ourselves, let's pick up some ammo to shoot, and went to the first nearest store by us, Fin Feather. Cabela's was a little bit farther away. That's a little bit of a bigger store. Then we have Vans. They're all popular brands. So we figured we'd just walk in and grab some ammo off the shelf to do a shooting review, the accuracy review of your most popular brands. To our surprise, the selection was minimum. You saw. As far as at least I want to say something that's somewhat affordable.
Right.
You know, we don't want to pay, you know, $20, $30, $50 a box.
Right.
And we'll get to those boxes later on in our video. We might make a series out of it. I don't know, like the whole accuracy shooting series.
Yeah, this video is more for your range ammo, your daily training ammo. We'll do the match grade and competition stuff and self-defense stuff in another video.
So what did we get? Let's see. We got Blazer stood out. So we got Blazer as far as your 124 grains.
That was on sale for $12.99.
Correct. So very popular round. Same thing with the Blazer 115 grain. Okay, so that's something that was available widely, $12.99, right? And surprisingly, the Blazer aluminum cased rounds, which I see a lot of people shoot, they're not bad. They're not my favorite. And because I reload, I tend to gravitate toward brass anyways. You can't really, well, I'm sure you can. There's people have done it, but you don't really reload aluminum cases. And that's 115 grain. Very popular. I see when we go to the indoor ranges, we see guys shoot that all the time. That's one of the most popular rounds. It was actually a little bit more expensive. I want to say in the $13 box. Yep. But that's because the brass was on sale. Yeah. So, but you'd expect it to pay across the board, especially in your big box stores. They're all going to be between your $13 to $15 a box. I think the most expensive was the Winchester white box. This particular one is 124 grain NATO rounds.
I think we got the 115s here too.
Oh, we did get 115s. We got the 115s. That's the standard target and practice. For the longest time, I used to shoot Winchester because they was the most accurate for me. They were very consistent and accurate. And moving down the list, Federals. So the reason I have special love for Federals. All right, they're just consistent, reliable, and nothing phases them. All right, nothing phases them as far as years, weather, government change. Nothing phases them. Right, COVID, no COVID, they're consistent, reliable, and accurate enough.
A few minutes later.
We were interrupted. My buddy showed up to the range. Wasn't sure we were recording, and didn't know we were recording. And
he thought we were just so close as bros, sitting at the table.
We're just having dinner with our ammo over here, you know. So it is food. It's food for our pistols.
Right.
You know? And it's therapy, most importantly.
Lead therapy.
Lead therapy, exactly. So going back to the Federals, we picked up both. We picked up the 115 grain and the 124s. Now the 124s, they're the American Eagle, very popular round overall. They're the 124s. And this one is, what is it called? Champion something?
Brass.
Brass.
And it says champion below it.
Brass champion.
Not sure if there's a proper
correct
model.
And but they're 115s, and you know that's one thing about Federals that I have to say over the years shooting. They've come up with so many different, you know, recipes and formulas and names and match grade and this and that, you know. But I love Federal as far as, like I said, as far as consistency and reliability and accuracy has been on point. They're not the most accurate, but they are the most consistent. And they're not the cheapest too. They're not the cheapest, but they're kind of in that middle ground, you know. Especially if you're a new shooter and you aren't familiar with which brands to buy and you're going to a shooting range, you want something reliable, something that will truly perform well, just pick up Federals, you know. Now you might pay $1 more per box compared to other brands, but then you know you're getting a good deal, you're getting a good ammo. Ripped off good ammo, you know. So then what else we had?
I found out I have this box of Magtech that I have never shot, so we're gonna give this a whirl as well. It's 115 grain.
Lastly is that Maxxtech. So this is Magtech, this is Maxxtech. Like I said, this was also in a $15 range, maybe $13 range.
We got the receipts. We can share. What are we shooting?
So I brought two of my pistols out that when it comes to accuracy, they just never fail. One thing to note before we get to talk about guns, a lot of that ammo we're testing, first of all, we're going to be resting our hands on the bag. So it's not going to be anything specific. We're not placing it in a rest.
Yep, no vise.
No vise, no clamps, none of that. I'm sure there's a bunch of YouTube content out there that will have that, you know, scientific accuracy, precision. If you're into it, great. I just want to test more practical accuracy offhand. And you see us shooting offhand all the time. We could do it today too. We have plenty of ammo, but we're just gonna rest it just to give it better stability. And we're gonna be using the pistols that are proven to perform with any ammo. And one of them was my CZ. That's Tactical Sport Orange. It has been slightly modified to run for like different competition. Even though I don't run this at the competitions anymore, I just use it as a range toy. And then, of course, my trusted Atlas Artemis. And Atlas is just pretty much a fancy 2011. They remake, they manufacture their own, but they make phenomenal 2011 platforms, which is a double stack 1911s. This one is chambered in 9, so obviously, and we have red dots on it. We have SROs, Trijicon SRO red dots, so it's going to be a lot easier to keep it together, and hopefully this will show what these pistols are capable of and what the ammo will do in those pistols. And the shooters. And the shooters. Oh yeah, that's probably the biggest factor, right? We could have all the best equipment, we could have the best ammo, and the hands are made of wood, you know? And hopefully not. Hopefully we're experienced enough. I did have coffee earlier this morning, so I might be a little bit shaky, you know? Even though the coffee doesn't really do it to me. The tea does. So, but anyways, not to get off subject, let's have fun, shoot.
And it's about damn time, if you ask me.
All right, starting out with laser aluminum. 10 rounds. 25 yards.
Blazer aluminum 115s with the TSO, Tactical Sport Orange. Saw the results. We'll have to comment right after.
Following up with Blazer brass 115 grain.
.115s brass with the TSO. 10 shots. All right, you saw the results, let's go.
Up next, Blazer 124 grain.
Blazer brass 124s, 10 shots with the TSO.
Coming up next, Federal Brass Champion 115s.
Oh my God! So Federal Champion 115s, 10 rounds with a TSO. Six or seven shot was a surprise, so that could have been high. So we noticed the difference in how spread the Artemis was versus the TSO as far as the Federal Champion 115s. So we just want to reconfirm, could it be a shooter? So I'll be shooting the Artemis this time. Same ammo, Champion Federals. 115s, 10 rounds, and see if it's a shooter, which I highly suspect could be a shooter.
Let's see.
All right, Martin, now you take it to the TSO and see.
Let's see
What you can do. Completely different triggers, huh?
completely.
Completely different feel, reset, pull.
I think
And I think they're all in black.
this was a better group.
But
So
we'll take a look.
let's go take a look.
So we have switched with Mar. I'll be shooting the Artemis. Just because maybe it feels better in my hand. I'm more used to the trigger, more accustomed to it. But this time we're shooting the Federal American Eagle, and that's 124 grains, right? Federal American Eagle 124. 10 shots with Artemis. It's always like the 7th shot, and I'm not sure if it's anticipations or 6th shot, 8th shot maybe. Somewhere closer, maybe I get too comfortable, I start doing something weird. And I'm not sure, I can't see the groups. I know they're all in the black, it looks like they're all in the black, but we'll see.
TSO, Federal, 124 grain, American Eagle.
From here,
Looks like they're in the black.
Like, first shot was literally dead center because you had like the light
poking through. I saw that too.
Now into our Winchesters. This is the Winchester white box, target and practice ammo, 115 grain, right? So Winchester white box, 115 grain, good old Artemis. Definitely felt much snappier.
All right, CZ TSO, Winchester 115 grain.
That is one smoky round. I mean, you had that smoke coming all the way up here.
Yeah, yeah. You can tell by the smell of it too.
Yeah.
I can distinctly now smell gunpowder.
Mm-hmm. And now we're back to Winchester, but this time it's the NATO rounds, which are loaded hotter, and those are 124 grains. Very snappy, but
TSO with the Winchester NATO 124 grains.
surprisingly shocked at how much smoke it produces.
Like
I mean, you breathe in all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Finally, we're doing the Magtech, very popular round, 115 grain. Just your standard full metal jacket, and Atlas is in play. That pistol wants to go fast. I have to tell myself to slow down.
TSO with the Magtech 115 grain. Definitely feel the snappy difference.
Yeah,
between
definitely
Winchester.
felt faster. And finally, we're to our last one, which is Maxxtech 115 grains. That's probably the most snappiest round out of all of them so far, but we'll see.
Maxtech 115 grain with the TSO.
What do you think? Snappy?
Definitely snappy.
Definitely snappy. Okay, now I want to try again the Maxxtech, just because they performed so well out of the Atlas that I want to try them in the TSO, just because Mar might have been too tired.
Say it. Just say it.
A little tired,
Okay.
That's all.
All right.
Maybe I'll be tired. I don't know. We'll see.
You're too kind.
The trigger,
tired, I think.
the trigger is so different that it took me a second to really feel that, even though I'm so used to these triggers. So we're done shooting. So now let's kind of generalize and go over each preference of each round, each ammo. Kind of my takeaway, Mar's takeaway on each load, on everything you could buy off the shelf. And that was the whole intended purpose for this video. Is you get to the store, this is the stuff you'll see on all the shelves, and even during the bad times you'll still be able to pick up a couple boxes. I remember during COVID, I believe we were able to pick up a couple boxes per day, a limit, but they were still available, especially the Blazers and Federals. A little pricier, but consistently cheaper than anything out there. Anyways, so let's go over the Blazer aluminum first. You saw the results between the Atlas and the TSO shooting. As far as the guns goes and the barrels, they're all going to be slightly different, but they were consistently tighter groups. I mean, this one is easily in a 3-inch. I'll post an actual results later on. I'll get home with my calipers and measure all the groups to kind of show you my preference. But I'm just going to kind of generalize the aluminum and the brass 115s. The 115 grain just overall to me performed about the same. They are both light recoiling round, and Blazer been around forever. So to me, as far as the primer goes, they are soft primers, which means they go bang every time. Every time the firing pin touches them, they go bang. I mentioned before the quality control in the Blazers did suffer a little bit in the past few years. You get, you know, a lot of loose ammo, I should say, loose. And I'm literally talking, I've had ammo where I would be ejecting a round, a live round, and the bullet stays inside the chamber, and the brass comes out with powder all over the place. So that has been an issue with Blazer in the recent years, and it could be, just a quality control. They're trying to whip out so many of them.
Or a bad batch.
And it's based on the batch. Yeah. You get a bad batch, and and you get bad ammo. But bad ammo also, to me, it's a safety protocol, right? You don't want accidentally, you ejected the round, you didn't notice that your bullet is stuck in that barrel, and you're reloading or not paying attention. Second round, a squib load they call it, and the next thing you know, your gun blows up, right? So there is a safety issue there. But overall, I say Blazer is probably, if you had to generalize it, is going to be consistent as far as the accuracy, performance, reliability. They go bang every time. They group well, not the best, but overall great. I mean, this is all, if you don't look at where it prints, it's overall in a 3-inch area. So Blazers 115s, very popular choice. Moving to the 124 grains. 124 grains overall generally is my preference, because a little heavier of a bullet, it just cuts through the wind a little bit better, and it groups better every round. Doesn't matter whether it's Federal, Blazer, Cellar and Bellet, name it, Remington, doesn't matter. 124 grains for me in the Full Metal Jacket area just consists better across the board.
We did notice the 124s that we got in this run were grouping a bit better than the 115s.
Correct. They were. They just seem to be a little more consistent, and you'll find that across the board among the shooters. They prefer 124 just for its a consistent placement. Just groups very well. And it's the same thing here. They went a little bit high on the Atlas. TSO kept this consistent, nice tight grouping, but to generalize Blazers in overall, they were light recoiling rounds, so they're not snappy at all. So they definitely easier to handle for new shooters, for even experienced shooters. This is great because it doesn't really beat your hand up, so you're not fighting the pistol, because the recoil is very minimalistic. Moving down to Federals now. All right, and we saw big differences in the 115s and the 124s. It's my first time shooting the Champions, and to me, they're my least favorite, simply for consistency. And you saw Mars group really opened up. Now, I don't know if he was pulling, getting tired, or whatever, call it anything you want, but this is sloppy, all right? I tried to repeat, I kept it much tighter, but I think for Atlas, I expected a little bit better performance, all right? It's a little spread out for my liking. And with the TSO, same exact thing. They're just a little bit sloppier. Also light recoiling, or I would say mid-level recoiling. So I'm not sure. It felt like maybe they're traveling at 1100 feet per second. So definitely a decent choice, but I would probably ignore this and just go into the American Eagle. American Eagle has been around forever. Like, this is probably their most popular round as far as the Federal goes, and it's been proven. The load data is there. The proof is in the pudding. I mean, you could see when it comes to Atlas, I mean, it shot lights out. Besides this one that I'm not sure if I pulled, I'm pretty sure I pulled. I felt like my 6 or 7 shot, I was fighting it a little bit and might have pulled, but that's easily under an inch at 25 yards. And with the TSO, 2.5 inch maybe. So definitely a winner in my book when it comes to price to recoil and accuracy ratio, right? So like that's the kind of factors I'm looking for. I don't want them to be too snappy. even though I don't mind snappy rounds, the faster rounds. But definitely as far as accuracy and consistency, very good round. And we'll do more with the Federal. I haven't shot the American Eagle in a long time, but I'm definitely reconsidering. Now moving to Winchester white box. And as I've stated before, I used to shoot them exclusively for a long time, probably for 2-3 years, nothing but the Winchester white box. But part of it has to do, they were cheap. Back in the day, they were really widely available and very, very cheap. I mean, you could have picked them up for $7, maybe sometimes even $5 a box. Yes, that long time ago. Now you're lucky to get them under $15 a box. I think this was like in a $20 range, 21, which is way overpriced for the performance, but the performance is still there. So if you don't mind paying the money, you could see, I mean, this is in the 2-inch range, just consistent between the guns, right? Whether it's a Atlas or the TSO, you get the consistent grouping in 2 different style shooters. Me and Mar, you know, I would say we're average shooters, definitely no bullseye shooters or anything of that nature, but we shoot a lot, so we have a consistent feel for the pistols, and they group very well, and you saw that. So definitely give the Winchester white box a consideration, and that's their 115s. And now let's move down to the NATO rounds. This is a little bit more snappier. It flies a little bit faster, but going faster does translate to better groups. And you could see, I mean, this is easily 1.5 inches for both of us between both guns. And you could see that the groups don't lie. Even though it felt snappier, after the gun recoils, especially when we're resting it, after it recoils, it's irrelevant because the bullet already left the muzzle. So it's traveling so fast, cutting through the wind, boom, resulting in accurate shots. So keep in mind, so if you don't mind the snappy feel, like that hard recoiling, definitely give them as a top priority. However, we both noticed, and you saw in the video, they're smoky. I mean,
wow, man. That's some heavy shit, man.
I haven't, you know, taken the gun apart to see how dirty it is, but a lot of smoke could mean dirty rounds. But even if it's not a dirty rounds, that smoke is in your face. So if you're shooting indoor, I suggest probably going with blazers. All the Winchesters had noticeably a lot of smoke coming right into your face. I mean, you're breathing all that lead. And I don't care how good the circulation system is in an indoor range, that stuff is going to your lungs over a long period of time. Even outdoor, this is probably gonna, you know, bother a lot of people. So just kind of keep that in mind. Okay, moving down to Magtech, which is a lot of my guys shoot that. That's a very popular cheap round that you could buy online almost anywhere, always available. And it's still a nicely grouped, I mean, it's a consistent, opened up a little bit with the TSO. So what does that mean? That just tells me that not all guns like them, right? It might perform better in one pistol versus another. This is the type of ammo I would really only use if it's tested in a particular platform. So definitely, as you notice, in the 2011 it shoots lights out. In my TSO, not so much. Now, could it be the shooter? Possibly, but we're just gonna leave that as a alternative. All right. So Maxxtech, you know, honestly, I want to say it was also a first time shooting that. Another round that's maybe not as popular as your big brand names, but it's becoming a very widely available. I see this everywhere now too. So we gave it a shot. I would put it in the same category as the Magtech. So Maxxtech and Magtech, almost like the same company made them. I mean, same thing. The pistol had a lot to do with it. Opened up a little bit on the TSO, and I even repeated the groups with the TSO just to see, well, what if it's a shooter? To me, it felt the most snappiest, to the point where it displaced my pistol from a point of contact. If I would hold it here, I mean, it literally moved the pistol where I had to readjust with every single shot. If I don't mind the snappy feel or a faster shooting round, I might as well go with something that groups well, which is a Winchester. So that's pretty much sums it up. I know I could talk all day and discuss that, and I'm sure if you guys have more questions, more things you want to add, or you have your other favorite ammo, leave in the comment. But if you just want a good non-match grade ammo, and that's another thing that we'll do, we'll buy whole array of match grade ammunition that's available out there and compare it. Does it really worth the buck? Because usually anything match, you're paying double. I mean, that's just the reality. You're gonna pay double. Then so if this box was 20, it's gonna cost you 40, and so on and so on. I mean, they're just that expensive. Do you truly get that much bang for match grade ammo?
TBD.
That's right. To be continued. 3 dots. All right, guys. Nice having you. And if you have more questions, you want to see a particular brand, post in the comments and we'll address it. Awesome.
I have to say, this was a fun experiment. And honestly, for those of you watching, it was quite a bit of work to put this video together. But I will say, if I just need some reliable ammo that's available everywhere, I will go with the Blazer, the 124s. Although my 115 group was better, I still like the 124s on this. But if I care more about that consistency and more performance, I think I shot my best groups. Here it is actually with the Winchester 115s. So Winchester 115s or the 124s will do very well as far as a nice grouping. What I really did not care a whole lot for, the Maxxtech, not so much. And also my shots were all over the place with this Federal. Again, could be me, but the Federal champion, champion of what? Really? Come on.
If you're gonna give it a name champion, it better perform like a champion, right?
Absolutely. And you can tell the difference right away between the American Eagle and how the champion performed. I mean, it's night and day difference. Again, overall, budget, Blazer, it's for the money. I mean, this was on sale, $12.99. You cannot go wrong. However, in the night, in the dark, any of those brands, I'm grabbing a handful because I gotta run and do something. We did not have a hiccup with any of them. They all went bang when they're supposed to. Mostly hit the target when they were supposed to. And pretty fun experiment. If there's a brand that you want us to test, let us know. And we'll look to do a match grade ammo video in the near future.